Hi, this is Amara Wiley, your guide to the Great Awakening. And today I wanted to share a miracle for the week. And there are two actually today that I wanted to share. One has to do with the war in Afghanistan ending, and one has to do with my son at college. So I'll start with the global one first, which is the war in Afghanistan. So pretty much the entire time my son has been alive, the war has been going on. I remember when he was born, we stopped getting the newspaper on the third day in the hospital. And I went, oh, something happened. And I found out that we had gone to war. So what I am thinking spiritually about the war ending is that we globally, or just you perhaps, have gotten to a place inside ourselves where peace is possible. So we've allowed peace to expand in the world through the war ending. And when we allow that to happen inside of ourselves, we see the external of something happening in the world of form. So you may have seen my video on the plane of forms. Basically, my belief is that everything we experience with our 5 physical senses is really a metaphor for what's going on spiritually. So when we see something like a war ending, no matter how messy, no matter whether we think it was done in a good way or a bad way, no matter what opinion we might have about it, the reality is that there is less fighting, less conflict, and therefore more peace. So the more we expand peace within ourselves, within our world, the more that's what we see reflected back to us. And when we're talking about something as big as war, then what we see is a global community of more peace. So that may not be what we are aware of when we're walking down the street, listening to the news, but in order for more peace to be in the world, more peace has to be inside of us. So great going, good job, more peace. And we can allow more peace to expand by allowing more peace to be inside of us, because whatever we are the microcosm and the world is the macrocosm. This is the idea of as above, so below. So we might not, in fact, we can't as individuals affect something as big as whether there's going to be a war or not a war, whether there's going to be, wildfires or flooding. We as individuals can't do that, but we as individuals can affect ourselves of having more calm, more peace inside, which, and this is going to sound maybe a little incredible, but the more peace we find inside of ourselves, the more peace we find outside, which calms down the thing that's creating flooding, wildfires, or whatever. That's a global thing, and it's very incremental and small. And the more we work on ourselves and other people work on themselves, the more we see that reflected in the world. And so when we're seeing a lot of changes from what we call climate change manifesting in the world, we think, oh, I have no control over that. It's the thing that's happening. Well, we don't know what miracles are in store for us in the future, but we can do little things inside of ourselves and inside our little world to affect change. So, things like recycling and using less gas and, picking up litter on a personal level is not going to change the way the whole world works. but it's in fact the only thing that we as individuals have control over. So these are the things, the more people do this, the spiritual idea behind it is the more that energy expands. So can you, stop global warming by recycling, you personally? No, but you personally can add to the energy of how the world is shifting. So all of those things that feel like they're meaningless, voting, you know, carpooling, whatever it is that you think, oh, nobody else is doing it, so my little bit isn't going to change anything. That isn't true. Your little bit is going to change something. That's the only thing that ever has. To paraphrase a very great person. So then I wanted, since they are sort of related, even though they might just be in my head, but so the entire time my son has been alive, the war in Afghanistan has been going on. So is his lifetime something related to that? Not directly, but in the whole microcosm, macrocosm idea, it is. So he just began college, and he's having a little bit of a rough time adjusting. And I had kind of set aside my fall to be available whenever he might need some assistance. And my sister had spoken to him on the phone the other night, and she was very worried, and she infected me with her worry. Not that it's her fault, of course, I'm responsible for my own emotions, but I decided to take up that worry. And what I came to remember is that my worrying is praying for a future I do not want. So setting aside my fall to take care of issues that come up with him, to expect that there are going to be issues, that's not helping the situation. So I started, of course I am available, right? That I'm a mom, I'm going to be available, but I started in my own spiritual practice to look at the glass half full of anything that's happening. So I went out because of the flooding and confusion with the mail. He hasn't gotten a lot of the materials he needs to do his schoolwork. So this weekend I bought some things that he needed for this week and drove them to where he is, which is, within my driving range, a little bit far, but not bad. And had dinner with him. And so I was looking for signs of, is he worried? Is he anxious? Is he depressed? That's the wrong way to look at the world. So I am starting to look for signs of he's okay. Is he okay? Are things going well? What is happening in his world that is moving him towards becoming adjusted, which I know he will be. I know he will become adjusted. That's just how he is in the world. So I don't need to look for where the problems are. I am training myself to look at how beautiful the world is. So we had dinner when I drove the things out there. We had dinner that night in town, and we went to, like a little cafe, but it was next door to a fancy restaurant. And because so many things were outside, the fancy restaurant had a jazz band playing soft jazz music. And because we were outside, we were, eating at a fraction of that cost, we got to enjoy the jazz band. It was a beautiful night. The weather was perfect. There was a little breeze. We were basically alone at this cafe, and it was just really lovely. We had such a nice evening and got to chat with each other, went for a walk, and then I left him to go do whatever with his supplies, which, then over the weekend, I kept thinking, oh, he's working, he's doing the things that I brought him. And then I spoke to him Sunday evening, and he's like, oh yeah, I haven't started yet. I'm like, Okay. So I was just like, it's all going to be fine. He always gets his stuff done. I don't need to worry about this. And this morning he said, "Oh yeah, I got almost all of it done to do tomorrow, so I'm good. I just have a couple more pieces, and it'll all be taken care of." So these are so me looking for the problem is going to find me problems. Me looking for what's beautiful about the situation, where can I be grateful, what's working, is going to get me more what's working. Um, my only job is to love him, right? He's an adult now. He's going to make whatever decisions he's going to make. He's going to do whatever he's going to do. And if he asks for help, I can give it to him, but he's an adult and I need to respect that. That's where the miracle lies. So in this connection in my head between this very long war and his whole life, I see the same thing. I see that there is peace. I see that there is love growing in the world. And that's all I can see. And all of the things that about either situation that could be listed as problems are the things I don't want to focus on. I want to focus on how things can be getting better and allow love to grow. And I think that although there are certainly in Afghanistan still issues for a lot of people, you have to start from a place where nobody's dying before you can fix other things. So that's the place where we're starting from. We're starting from a place of more love is needed, and we have the opportunity to send more love in whatever form that takes. So I hope that these musings might have amused you, and I bless you with my holiness and hope you have a wonderful week.